Hello, hello, hello. Hope you're all doing good. All right. I see the usual suspects are here. Good to see you. Bernini. We're going to look at Bernini today. Should be a bit of fun. And, you know, like the Michelangelo session that we did, what was that, about 3 weeks ago, I have not done master copies of Bernini before, so this should be really interesting. I've been an admirer of his work, obviously, for a long time. So, we will get cracking. Now, we don't have that many poses, as you may have seen, and we may just not get through all of them. What is it? It's like 4 images here. Let's see how we do. I'm thinking a minimum of 20 to 25 for the first one. Let's aim for that, and then we'll go from there. Okay. All right. So this is, as far as I understand, this is Adam, right? Bernini's interpretation. Quite different from Mr. Buonarroti's. All right, there's the clock. All right, let's do this. Sorry, David. Thank you, Jaeger. That's what I meant, believe it or not. Now, when I was looking at reference for this, there was a number of images online, and it was kind of a bit of a toss-up between the different angles presented and then the quality of the lighting in the photos that were out there. A number of things. So I tried to strike a balance with these. Hopefully I picked the ones that work the best. The squish on those statues is dope. Yes. That squish, especially like on the images that we've got coming up with the hands on the thigh, that's kind of Bernini's trademark, isn't it? So just work really lightly for right now while I get everything in place. Question. Yes, Lulu. I made my wall into a blackboard. I'll be drawing along today on what is basically an A0. Would that be useful, or am I just having fun? I think it could be both, Lulu. Why not? Yeah, for sure. Draw big. Be curious to see and hear how you enjoy that process. But no, that's I think it's really, well, you know my feelings on drawing big. I'm a fan. I find people far too often draw way too small in their figure drawing, and I think, as I've said before, I think a lot of that comes from, I'm going to just pull my drawing board up just a little bit so you guys can see the foot a bit better. I think it comes from, like, you know, maybe insecurity about your work, or Could be a number of things. And this leg's going away from us, but no, I think it's great to draw big. I wouldn't mind drawing bigger myself on these things, but it's just going to get really... I did try some camera tests of me drawing at the easel behind me, and it does work, but you know, inevitably when I'm drawing, to try and get a good angle for my hand, actually this ankle's about here. I inevitably got in the way of the camera. It's usually a problem when doing live demos too. You know, the ideal angle for drawing is not necessarily the best for the viewer. So we got the latissimus coming down this way, scapula. Music a bit loud. I'm going to turn it down just a tiny bit. Okay. Hemanth. Are you a member, Hemanth? I don't even know. I feel like you are. Anyway, it's on the reference page if you're a member. If you're not, just look up Bernini's David. You should find it. And this hand is kind of peeking out down here. Sternocleidomastoid coming up this way. He's got that, what do you call that, sling? Draped between those two hands. He's also got some business. He's got this drapery that's hanging across his form. Kind of coming across this way. And coming down here. GoPro helmet for the easel. I think you'd all get seasick. Swipeman minions. Oh no. I'm using my iPad to draw with Constantaneous. I'm afraid that's unacceptable. You can't do that. Well, I guess you can. But you're missing out. You're missing out on all the fun drawing on the iPad. Imagine if Bernini had had an iPad, we would have lost so much. So far it's great, and I've drawn months, so the quality of stick figure, it's alright. You know what, Lulu? Yeah, I know you've heard my thoughts on easels and the likes. And generally speaking, you know, I'm not a fan of drawing on the easel. But I think that, you know, there are times when it's good to mix it up a little. Those kind of comments are mainly aimed at those who are working exclusively on an easel. You know? He's got this great hair going on. Not going to be able to capture it, but... No. Nope. Okay. Nope. There we go. So he's got the strap of his satchel or his basket. I guess his rock holding basket. Coming across this way, and that is sitting here, something like that. Excuse me. Okay. I've got this head way off in position. How is the best way to fix this? I think I'm going to move the shoulder up. I think I can afford to. Yeah, I can fix this arm, make that work. That'll work. Marwian Garang, is that how you say your name? Good afternoon. Where are you watching from? I'm curious. All of you who are new to the chat, let me know where you're residing. It's always fascinating to me. All right. So I'm going, as I moved everything up, I can afford to move this up here too. Look at that. We have someone from Twitch. Stardust. Opal. Oh, thank you. Gotta give a shout out to the Twitch people. You are few. I don't know how it works on Twitch, how you're meant to get your channel quote-unquote discovered. Because Twitch just doesn't seem to have, or at least for me, doesn't seem to have any kind of discovery mode. Maybe it's something I'm doing wrong. But, yeah. Anyway, welcome. Okay. Come on, Richard. Get your act together here. This is a mess. It's too long a pose to live with it being a mess. He says as he messes it up further. I think I can fix it. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess I was kind of hoping that Twitch would have a little bit more of kind of a discovery mode going on, but I do hear you about the social media thing. Clavicle. Coming up that way. So we've come down. This is a little harsh. I need to soften that a little bit. Yeah, that's a bit better. Coming down, we've hit the oblique here. Tensor fasciae latae. Pectoralis. And we've got the deltoid bicep. Yeah, forget that constantaneous drawing with a mouse is not going to work. Even drawing on a tablet is pretty tricky. In my experience, you really, ideally, if you're going to go that route, you really want to have something where you can draw on the screen. It's interesting though, for you concept art nerds, I did find when digital painting, like I started out on a tablet and then I moved to a Cintiq, and I actually found that doing small color thumbnails that didn't require detail or, you know, high level of drawing skill, much easier to work on a tablet than drawing on the screen because your hands aren't in the way. So you can really just kind of focus on the image in front of you and you can, you know, draw down here kind of thing. It actually worked very well. Okay, so This leg might need to get pulled over just a little bit here. Yeah, I get it, Lulu. If I was drawing anime ladies, I'd get a lot more views. That's about it on Twitch. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Story, Hemant. Dude. What do you want from me? What kind of story? I don't have any stories. Gave you all my stories. Thought we were here to draw. Are you drawing, Hemant? That's my question for you. Do you draw or do you just watch? No judgment, just curious. Because I find generally those busiest in the chat are not drawing along, generally speaking, which is fine. Look at that knee. Now he's just showing off. I do find Bernini likes to show off quite a lot with his sculpture. He's much more showy-offy than Michelangelo, if that makes sense. Not criticism, it's an observation. Now this is... No, I think this is quite a big sculpture. There's one coming up which I think is quite small, and you can tell with the detail drop off. It's kind of interesting. I'm at work and watching, says Christopher Roman. All right. I draw in the middle of work. Nice. Missed a bunch of comments here. Excuse me. Yeah, no, I get it with the dark brown inks and amber inks and that for drawing. Gives it a nice kind of old school feel, doesn't it? Okay, that's something I really need to bring into the stream, is drawing with other mediums. Just to kind of mix it up a little bit for myself, if nothing else. I can't remember the last time I worked with anything other than charcoal, and that's not necessarily a good thing. God, we're already at 23 minutes. Told you this was going to be a long pose. Mostly draw. Glad to hear it, Hemant. Joyce, how you doing? Hi, Rich. Can you talk a little bit about your line work and when you decide to use thick or thin lines? I'm also struggling to understand the indication of the body turning. Okay, those are obviously two very different things. Well, as far as the body turning, Joyce, the thing I'm looking for example, here you can see the center line, right? Where the pectoralis is on this side as opposed to this side. So I've got not even an imaginary line, you can see it there, but it's really useful to get that center line in. You can see how even the sternocleidomastoid here comes down, kind of acts as part of this rhythmical idea, coming down this way and down this way, right? So when the form is turning, I find generally if you can just like block in the mass, but then find this center line and where it is relative to each other from, like, you know, the upper torso here, then it, you know, the rib cage is turned slightly away from us, and then the lower torso is kind of turned more towards us. Find that center line, and it'll help. Then you can subdivide between the left and the right side of the form, and you can also start to understand how the form is turning in space, if that makes sense. Slightly easierly demonstrated when we're working with, you know, a model, because right here, you know, this center line is a little bit obscured by his left arm and that type of thing. So yeah, it gets a little harder to find that idea in a clean way, but that's generally what I would suggest. Find the center line, subdivide from there. Okay, so this arm, yeah, it's coming down this way. And that sling is here. And then he's got this, what is essentially a plinth, right? Which is supporting the model, or the sculpture behind him here. I'm just going to indicate its shape very loosely. I don't want to get into all the detail with that. We'll be here literally all day. But we can kind of suggest it. I don't know what that's meant to be, actually. Yeah, you know, this kind of drawing is, it's just time consuming, right? Like, it's just a lot to kind of build up and draw in and all that. So we're starting to get there. Jeffrey, he says, I mounted my iPad on 18 by 24 clipboard, cut a hole for the iPad in foam core, same depth as the iPad. Then glued the foam. Oh, I see what you're saying. All right. Yeah, fair enough. My issue with it is, it's just like the way that you're going to hold your hand is just going to be handwriting style, which you know how I feel about. Fair enough, Ben. Artist working in an indie studio, nice. Well, whether you draw along or just come for the chat, the company, you're very welcome. The more the merrier. Okay, so I need to, you see, once again, we've got this weird two light sources. It's a bit deceiving. It's mischievous light, because you'd be forgiven for thinking there was a single down source light, but there's not, there's two. I'm guessing this is just museum lighting, which is not giving us a whole lot of interesting shadow work. Need to figure out how I want to explain this stuff. Well, we're already at the 30-minute mark, so I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to take a few liberties with it though in saying that, just so I've got some form to model. Lulu, that is key, is being able to stand back from your work when you're working large like that. Yeah, that could be an issue for sure. Rich, what's the name of that gesture art master? I had it bookmarked, but I had to clean, restart Windows. Blah, blah, blah. Well, there's a number of them, but maybe you're thinking of Walt Stanchfield Constantius. That's who we were talking about. Was it last session? This Walt? Bernini better be showing off. Cardinal Bugisi, is it? Was paying good money. Yeah, look, that's true. They would have been. Hey, look, we all have clients, right? Even the old masters. Got to keep the client happy. Really struggling to do volume in a subtle way, e.g. on his obliques, so it looks human-like, says Jacob. Yeah, look, it's... here's the thing. It's so easy to overcook the half-tone in the lit side of the form. You really do have to be, really careful. It's one of the things that's nice about working with charcoal on newsprint is it does have, you know, it does lend itself to giving even tone, if that makes sense. Guys, let me know if you think like these longer form poses are wrecking your head or you're not into them. Not that we can do much about it now, we're in this now, but you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to be the only person that's getting something out of this. I think I'm almost there with this one. Is it done? Hard to say, but, you know. In the interest of keeping things moving forward, I think I might call it. All right. Maybe we can do gesture day. Yeah, Rick, we haven't done gesture day in a while, right? I'm down with that. Maybe Thursday we'll do gesture, huh? Why don't we plan on that? So I'm just catching up with you folks. You know, I bought an Apple Pencil, Rick, as well. I've used the thing a total, and this was years ago, I bought mine about 5-6 years ago. I've used the thing a total of about 4 times to draw. Never got into it. The Cintiq pen is a bit better. Just something about the Apple Pencil, I don't know why. It all should work, and I know people get great results with it, but never worked for me. All right. What movements in art do you like the most? Oh, Camille, that's a big question. I'm a big fan of Art Nouveau, a big Mucha fan. The Renaissance guys. You know, there's a few modern artists out there that I like too, but if I had to just kind of, if you know, made me just give you a simple, quick answer, I would say those two. Maybe that's obvious from the type of work I do. Poppy Showtime, she was in here just before the stream. I just see, I can't just leave the stream to go get her, unfortunately. Digging the longer poses. Thank you, Doug. Glad to hear it. You can download the Waltz book for free as a PDF. You mean the Waltz Stanchfield book, Noah, I'm guessing? I'm sure it's available. I think I've seen it as a PDF out in the wild. I think you're right. You can also, if you just want to own it, I believe you can buy the Walt Stanchfield lectures on Amazon as a book. Someone compiled all the lectures. Yeah, Lulu, I get that what you're saying about the longer poses and having not practiced, but the not practiced is on you, my friend. Otherwise I prefer longer poses. Yeah, look, it is what it is, right? Doing well, Donna, thank you. Okay, next pose. Now this is the big one, right? So we've got a lot going on this pose, and this one is probably going to take the majority of our time. Let's see. Well, let's see. Maybe we did, what, 40 minutes on the first one. This could be about the same, I guess. Let's see. Hey, Margot. Headed to the airport for a fun trip to Colorado. Granddaughter graduating. Very nice. Well, have a lovely trip, and we'll see you on the flippity flip. Yeah, Rembrandt, Dutch master. Okay, let me reset the clock. I can't help but think, I don't know exactly, Joyce, but Stanchfield, I think if you put that in with Walt in front of it, and just like Walt Stanchfield gesture drawing book, something like that, I'm pretty sure it'll come up. You know, Google's pretty forgiving of us bad spellers. S-T-A-N, yes, C-H feels right. Here, I'll look it up real quick. Stanchfield, yeah, S-T-A-N-C-H-F-I-E-L-D. And the book is called Drawn to Life. There you go. Can't do any more than that other than buy it. I've done all I can do. Yeah, it's Jose, but I don't think it's just for animators. I think it's really useful for figurative artists too. But yes, you're right, it was compiled initially with the animators in mind. Take care, Rick. Right back at you, buddy. Do me a favor, can we not get into a whole discussion about other artists' books and products on the stream? Thanks. I don't mind giving a shout out to someone like Walt Stanchfield, but please let's leave it there, if you don't mind. Appreciate it. Okay, next pose. Okay, so this is really complicated pose, a lot going on, the angle is tricky. It's like, where do we start, right? Well, the female is taking up obviously the dominant amount of space, or the dominant volume in the image. We can't almost really even see the male other than his arm. We can see a glimpse of his face there by her left elbow, but I'm initially treating this as if I'm drawing her. Then I'll worry about all the other stuff. But yeah, awful lot going on with this pose. This could end up being a complete and utter disaster. Let's see. This would be one of those things where being able to walk around the sculpture would really help clarify ideas. I'll just focus on the hand and the thigh too hard. Jose, it's probably a pretty wise proposition, truth be told. Okay, so this other leg, it's kind of coming down this way, knees sitting about here. Would have been nicer to have a wider shot of this too, but hard to find the quality that I needed. You know, a lot of different things between angles and all of that kind of stuff. Upper torso, sitting in here. And yeah, truth be told, obviously the star of the show on this sculpture is the hand, and you know, the feeling of the compression. So yeah, I don't want to get too hung up on the other stuff either, but let's see how we go. Tough stuff here. A month. Can we clarify something for me, Hemant? Are you or are you not a member? I know you're a subscriber, but do you not have access to the reference page? You would find life a lot easier if you had access to the reference page. And you'd be supporting the channel too, which I don't usually go on about, but you know, it helps. Alright, so we have this other arm. Wrist is here. There you go, Jaeger, helping you out there. Thank you, Jaeger. It's very kind of you. Yeah, so much going on. Madness. Okay. Scapula is sitting about here. Head of the humerus is about here. Breasts about there, rib cage. Arm is coming out this way, going away from us. Trapezius coming up this way. Okay, not probably going to get into the head, although that head could be a whole study in its own right, couldn't it? But I think in the interest of sanity, I'm going to focus on the body. Fantastic drapery too. The guy had a real knack with bringing fluid and motion into his work. Okay. It's not cheap according to Indian rate a month. From my understanding, YouTube pricings accordingly. Now I don't know, and I can't get into it. It's like I could not have made this membership any cheaper, really. Trust me. It's like $3 a month or something, right, in the States. And from what I understand, it's not, you know, depending on where you are and that type of thing, they don't charge the exact same everywhere. So, like, I don't know what to tell you, but we'll leave it there. Okay. Yeah, these hands alone could just be a complete study in their own right, in a close-up, which would be probably the way to go. God, the modeling is so insanely subtle. Like when you look at where that index finger of his right hand is in her thigh, and the subtle half tone. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, it is absolutely a masterpiece. Like, obviously it's stating the obvious, isn't it? But it truly is one of the greatest sculptures ever created. For so many reasons. This music's too much. So we have his form, looks like the lateralis down here. I'm not going to get into it. We'll focus generally in this area, right? Seems to me like otherwise, you know, none of us committed to being here all day. Hard to get a good angle. Take care, Donna. Not a classic art nerd, says Lulu. No, fair enough. You're an anime nerd, Lulu. We know that. First time seeing it was really impressive. It is really impressive. There's no doubt about it. If you ever find yourself in Rome, Lulu, really go make a point of going and checking out this sculpture. What's the name of the house that it's kept at? I forget. I'm blanking. I know someone will come up. Come on, Jaeger. I know you're good for this type of information. But absolutely spectacular to see it, obviously, in person. If you ever get the chance, it's worth a trip to Rome in its own right. When I went to Rome, actually, it was to see Bernini. It says one place. What's the name? Casa or something, is it? Borghese. Thank you, Villa Borghese. Thank you, Jaeger. I knew you'd know. There's a bunch of Bernini's stuff at the Villa Borghese. Borghese? And when we went to Rome, it was really kind of like, all right, Colosseum and all that stuff would be nice, but this is the stuff that we have to see. And I'm mighty glad that we did, because it really is absolutely stunning in person. Obviously, right? You don't need me to tell you that. You see, Jaeger's like our resident Italian. She's going to keep us honest. You see, I could just start telling you, yeah, they keep this is in London. It's, you know, anyone can see it. It's no big deal. All right, so it's slowly coming together, kinda, sorta. Also, because of the white marble, look how much reflected light we have in the tone side. Take care, Jacob. Good luck. Borghese. Borghese? I'll take your word on that. I'll have to. Because I wouldn't know how to pronounce that properly. Borghese. Okay. Thank you again. The sculpture's a masterpiece, and Antonella. Yes, for sure. I wouldn't say what I'm doing is I'm copying a masterpiece. That's the whole premise of the stream. But it's a bit of fun. Not just a bit of fun, you know, as I said to you when we did the Michelangelo ones, this has kind of been something I've been meaning to do for a long time. It's just, you know, when you're on your own and you've got all these different priorities, doing Bernini master copies is not necessarily at the top of the list of things that need to be done. So this is a great opportunity to do just that. So I'm just going to, I'm just kind of, I think, you know, but the point being is, I think a piece like this is best served to a large degree to be shown through light and tone, given its marble, and there's a lot going on with the light and tone. So I'm trying to kind of, and also time-wise, good Lord, I don't know if we've ever taken so long on a couple of drawings. Anyway, point being is, rather than just drawing everything out diagrammatically, I'm thinking a lot of this will happen with light and tone. It's kind of the idea. So let's see. I'm actually going to move to one of these primos to just block in a little bit. Get a bit of material on the page. I'm hoping that a lot of this material I'm putting down right now will actually get used kind of in the blend, if that makes sense. Time to do some blending. Stav says, Richard, your anatomy tutorial made my life so much easier. Your greatest tutor ever. Thank you so much. It's lovely to hear. I really appreciate the compliment. Michael says, good evening. I'm an art student. This is an inspiration. Wonderful. Thank you, Michael. Glad to hear it. All right, let's do some smudging. And hopefully here we can, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can hit some of this reflected light in the tonal side. But let's see, one step at a time. All right. Apologies for the incoming self-promotion stuff, but please, would you mind hitting the like button before you forget? I'd really appreciate it. If you like it. If you don't, be sure to hit the dislike button. I always do like to have that caveat. That's why it's there. No, but apparently it helps. Well, the longer I do this, the less evidence I see that the like button does anything. Who knows? But we'll keep playing along with YouTube's game. Did get a weird stat come to me actually just this morning on my YouTube channel page stat thing. Apparently, cumulatively, my videos have now had 5 million views, which I thought was kind of crazy. But it's a nice thing. So we'll just kind of get our bearings now once we get this smudge pass done and figure out what we need to punch. Thanks, Bon Julf. Okay, now let's see. Just going to just very lightly get a bit of tone into the lit side so I can hopefully just punch it a little bit with the needed eraser. Yeah, TK, of course, the streams stay. Here's the deal with the streams. Well, these ones will actually stay up a while longer, but the regular figure drawing streams, they stay up a couple of weeks and then they become member only to try and incentivize people to become members, you see. How are you finding it, Richard? Well, this study, yeah, look, it's I'm not doing it justice, TK, but I'm enjoying it. So I'm just going to pull out some highlights, and I'm going to kill this music. It's too much. Come on, you guys are trying too much. This is really, though, to be honest, this is kind of posing. You know, I think we're being a little overly ambitious at the 37-minute mark to try and hope to do anything but a rather poor facsimile. But it's good, because you know what, it actually, when I do poses like this, you could almost kind of consider this a bit of a practice run, because I think I'll at some point, I will have another go at this pose, and I will do it off camera. Just, you know, take my time with it, so to speak. And so this is kind of gives me a sense of what to expect. But when will I get round to that? That's the question. And for that, I don't have an answer. Now, this little finger. Yeah, it's a disaster. Trying to get this bounce light is going to be so tricky. It'll be so easy to get this thing not reading well at all. The name of the next two poses, I honestly don't know, Hemant, the names of them. Genuinely don't know. Maybe someone who's got access to the reference, if someone knows, please please volunteer that information, but I don't know. You know, I think in the interest of sanity, I might call it. What do we reckon? What do we reckon? You guys ready to move on? I really wanted to try and get some of that reflected light. Hold on. I don't need to make my hand any damper. No, you know what? I'm going to leave it there. Not great. But, you know, look, as I said, this is, we'll call it a practice run. That finger is absolutely disgusting. Let's leave it. Let's leave it alone. Okay. Done. Well, that's the one we're working on now, TK. But it's the next one, I think, that Hemant was asking about. We really need to buy some newsprint. Newsprint does work. Works very well. Okay, we made it. Kind of, sort of, you know. Good exercise, very interesting, and what a beautiful sculpture to just stare at for, you know. Here, you know what I'm going to do, Hemant? I'm going to share my screen with you real quickly so you can see the pose that we're working from next, and then you have to go find it on your own, okay? Here you go. It's this one. This is the next pose, okay? All right. Saint Sebastian. Thank you, Jaeger. All right. Keep those well out of the way so they don't get crushed. Oh boy. That was nice. If I was smart, I'd stop the stream now because I can tell that I'm mentally a bit drained. But we will do one more. Well, we have two more, right? And I think we're going to skip that last one because it's very similar to the one we just did, and it really could be a session all in its own right. It's intense. But let's do this next pose. We've got half an hour left. Let's say we can make this one go half an hour, and then we will excuse ourselves. Okay. Constantinius asks, is there a place in Italy that houses Michelangelo's tools, his sketches, his sculptures, rough drafts? I can't tell you that, but I will tell you the last time I was there in the new year, we actually meant to go to what in Firenze, Florence. We were meant to go to what is supposedly was his home, but it was the new year and it was closed. So they may very well have, from what I understand, there's quite a lot of stuff there, but I don't know if his tools and his sketches, I think it's unlikely, or sculpture rough drafts. No, I think maybe some of his tools, but I honestly don't know Constantinius. But you could look it up. I'd say if they're anywhere, they are in Florence, and they are. Thanks, Lulu. Yeah, I'm kind of mentally wrecked after that last one. Doesn't take much these days. Yeah, let's do this pose. And I think, as I said, I think we'll save the last one, because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be doing more of these master copies, and there's nothing to say that we can't revisit Bernini sooner rather than later and take a stab at that last one. Okay, let's do this. At least this is a little bit more conventional when it comes to poses. Now, I forget who was asking, but look at the way we can see that center line running through the center of the form. So I like to get that nice and early, because it's really going to help with that subdivision. You can see that clavicle. Look at this beautiful shape he has here from the clavicle coming down to the pectoral muscle, sitting in there, sitting in like so. And this arm is coming out like so, hanging down. Richard, is a Sargent's charcoal portraits master copies and plans for the future? Would love to see. You know, it's so funny you say that, Jose. I was literally today thinking Sargent, because I was thinking about other artists I would like to do master copies of, and you know, Pontormo's up there, Raphael, to some extent. And then I was thinking Sargent. Sargent would be fun, right? But maybe not just, maybe, you know, even like his painting. So yes, to answer your question, Jose, Sargent's definitely on the list. I have a feeling just in the interest of, you know, hitting the Taylor Swifts of the Renaissance world, we'll probably do Raphael next, would be my guess. Yes, I did say Taylor Swift, that's right. Never heard her music, but I hear she's a big deal. Trio. I remember you. I do remember you, Trio. You were here, what, last stream or 2 streams ago? Eminem. What about him? Okay. You found the pose a month. Good. So this leg rhythmically is continuing its journey down this way. Still coming towards us. Sitting there. And going down this way. Okay. Something like that. Now this hand, kind of sitting like so. Something like that. Love Sargent, says Rick. Me too. A big fan. Big fan. Yeah. Sargent. Guy knew a thing or two. Mm-hmm. Just a very aesthetically pleasing style, right? Like something about his work. So we've got the thing that is supporting up his arm here. It's kind of coming up this way, sitting here. And then the drapery, which is supporting the arrow, which I'm guessing is going into his side. Rexel, welcome. Hope you're able to find the reference okay. What would I ask Sargent if I met him? You know, I think that, here's the thing, I don't know if I would have much to ask him, to be honest, but that's a lot to do with the fact that I'm not really, don't really consider myself a painter. And I actually do have a document which talks a little bit about, supposedly about his techniques. But from what I understand, his process and his techniques are not massively documented. So I think the question would be frankly wasted on me, and I would probably pass it off to a painter that really could ask the right questions about his process, because I think that's probably what would be most useful for people. But yeah, I just don't consider myself enough of a painter to know what the right question would be. So that would be my feeling on it. If I were to meet Michelangelo and have time to prepare, I'd get shredded. You see, you have to get shredded, right? Rip off my shirt off since I'm out to a permanent market. Then I'll have it tattooed on. I love the get shredded proviso in there. What if you don't get shredded? Are you still doing it? Maybe the arm then? That's great. Oh, we all have had aspirations to get shredded. And somehow very few of us actually pull it off. That is hilarious. You just made me. That's a nice laugh. Thank you. What would you ask Bob Ross? Don't pass the question. I don't have a whole lot to. I wouldn't have anything to ask Bob Ross, because here's the thing. I don't think that Bob Ross's painting skill was his greatest strength. Truth be told, I don't think Bob Ross was much of a painter. But Bob Ross had a much greater skill, and I think, frankly, a much more important skill in some regards, which was Bob Ross was a great communicator, and he was very good at simplifying down complex kind of concepts to simpler ideas, right? But there's nothing really like technique-wise that I would want to learn. That I feel Bob Ross could bring much to the conversation, to be honest. I hope that doesn't sound mean. I think that he served a much bigger purpose. He was never trying to be a great artist, so to speak, if that makes sense. I know a lot of people like his work, but it's quite simplistic, and I think he would probably be the first to admit that. But I think Bob Ross filled a really interesting kind of little, what's the word, little space in the art world that was important. You see, Bob Ross's great strength was he made art very, very accessible. He really did give you the belief anyone could paint. And I think that's really a beautiful, beautiful legacy and a beautiful thing to leave behind, right? So I hope that answers the question. I don't really think that, I don't think that it would require anything more than that, as far as, you know, there's no question, so to speak. Who else is there for this hypothetical combo? Bob Ross fan club's going to be slinging shade my way now. Yeah, exactly. Ask how he maintains his hair. Yeah, he had a hell of a head of hair on him. I'll give him that. Einstein would be a fun convo regardless. I would, yeah, I wouldn't know what to ask him. He'd probably a pretty fascinating person to meet, but I'm trying to think who in history like that I would actually actively like to meet and ask a question of. I don't know, it's a hard question, you know? Mike Tyson. Well, I think we could probably... You see, that's a very obtainable goal to some degree or another, right? If you want to have a conversation with Mike Tyson. I'd say, you know, throw Mike Tyson a check for 25 grand and he's probably yours for the afternoon. Yeah, right, Lulu. But here's the thing, you're not... It is fascinating, isn't it? You're not... Like this idea of AI making, you know, people from history accessible and that. It all feels a bit... Like, would you really value... Here's the thing, right? Even if you could get an AI of, like, let's say, we'll just say Einstein, for example, that had been completely trained to give the kind of response that he would give and all of that, would there be any value in it? Because ultimately, you would know the whole time, you're not talking to Einstein, you're talking to, you know, a facsimile. And I'm just not convinced that that type of thing is going to hold people's interest in any, like, you know, as a novelty, it'll be fine. But at the end of the day, it's a facsimile, right? It's not the person themselves. It's a really interesting kind of ethical place that we're going to find ourselves in. You know, imagine, you know, taking that as a concept. Like, do you want to talk to your dead mother? or an AI version, I think that I don't think it would check the boxes you might think it would. You think there would be value to it, different type of value than the genuine thing they do? I wonder. I don't know. For me, I'm not convinced. I think it'd be an interesting kind of thing as a curiosity, but like, I know sure as hell I would not want an AI version of myself representing me or speaking on my behalf as if this is the answer that I would have given. I would take great exception to that. Now we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. Keep going for a little bit, huh? Not sure what this is up here. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really got into it to be honest, as far as trying it out for having combat. I guess, like, even with ChatGPT, you could say, I would like to have a conversation in the style of fill in the blank, whoever that might be. I used ChatGPT once, and while I think it's very impressive in one respect, I just found it got very kind of repetitive in the way that it conversed, if that makes sense. And initially it felt like it was really smart, but then when you kind of dig deep and you give it a couple of tricky kind of questions, it felt kind of, I don't know, formulaic in its responses. But look, I think it's a fascinating area of discovery, for sure. Barnjulf says, I would ask Da Vinci if he had to defend his painting of the Madonna with a carnation against the church somehow. Well, I'd be curious to know what Leonardo... Well, you see, here's getting into some tricky area with Da Vinci. Because I actually don't think he was a particularly good painter. Certainly by the measure of the people around him at the time, his contemporaries. And I wonder how much if that played on his mind, or if he saw it that way. I know he was very taken with himself. But, you know, I'd be curious if he saw his own shortcomings as a painter. Yeah, much more of an engineer, I agree, Lily. Well, I think it was kind of expected that you did a bit of everything back then, you know, to some degree. Yeah, no, look, I think, look, it doesn't need me to spell out Da Vinci's contribution to mankind, and obviously he did an awful lot. And yes, for anatomy and all of that, sure. I just don't think he was much of a painter, that's all. And I'm probably one of the few people that doesn't really like the Mona Lisa. I think it's probably the most overrated painting in history, personally. All right. Yes, but would they admit to them, Lulu? That's the question. Cool, cool, cool. All right, I think we're getting close, guys. I think we're going to tie a bow around this lovely session. So Thursday, we're going to, I think Rick made a very good point. I think it might be time for a gesture session, or at least, you know, hit some faster poses for a minute, even if they're not all strictly gesture. But I think it might be time. So that's what we're going to tentatively plan for Thursday. But I think that is probably a wrap, guys. That was a bit of fun, right? Yeah. Yeah, tough session in some regards, or there's no doubt about it. But it was satisfying too. I hope you guys dug it, and yeah, we will do this all again on Thursday. So guy was stubborn as a mule, from what I know. Yeah, I think there was way too much ego there, right? He was the Taylor Swift of the Renaissance period. All right, I'm going to get hung if I keep talking. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, happy 5 million. Now, if we could just convert that into coin, that would make life a lot easier, trust me. We will do this all again on Thursday. And obviously we'll be working from a figure drawing. But we'll come back to these. I think they're really useful. As I've said before, what I think I really like about doing these types of things is it forces you to slow down and really observe the artist that you're looking at. Even if the work that you do or the drawing is, you know, not very good or whatever, I don't think it really matters. What it's done is it's forced you to spend 40 minutes looking at a piece of art, right? And I think that's the value in doing master copies, at least for me. So with that said, we'll meet again on Thursday, folks. If you wouldn't mind, hit the like button on the way out the door. It'd be much appreciated. And I will see you all on Thursday. And look after yourselves. All right, take care. See you then. Cheers. Bye.